Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at the end of the video here to bring the 5-game NBA main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, because you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. I have a link in the description below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer them at patreon.com, an esports package which includes Call of Duty and CSGO, as well as an NBA package, also linked down below. I do want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. If you guys are not familiar with the Prize Picks, again, the idea is you take over/under on fantasy points. Right now, they don't have anything posted for NBA, but stuff should be coming either later tonight or early tomorrow. And they'll have second half contests for NBA, sometimes fourth quarter contests. Again, there is an edge there, right? Talked about it with like the second half and fourth quarter contests if the game's starting to turn into a blowout. And, if the game does blow out, you obviously can take the unders there. And you can mix and match sports. They have everything. They have golf. They have MMA, esports, tennis, soccer, again, MLB. And you can mix and match sports. So you can have like a couple NBA with a couple MLB. Again, the fun thing about Prize Picks is you're not playing against anyone. And also the scores will move. So if you see one that you think is either too high or too low, you want to hop on that right away. So again, if you guys want to sign up, you can go DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And finally, I just want to thank you guys for the continued support on these videos, live streams. We're hitting like 350 concurrent viewers in the live streams and on Twitter. I know we're having a lot of big winners, so congrats to everyone the last week or so that have had some pretty big wins. If you guys do enjoy this content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos when I'm live. Unfortunately, there'll be no live stream tomorrow, so if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section down below. I will make sure to get back to you guys. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into it. So before I talk about players and the prices for this 5-game slate, we can look back my up here from Friday. And Friday, just been a long week, and I'm exhausted, and I just gotta, I don't really know if I have the energy to tilt. So my original build so I'll tell you the issue with this. I talked about this in the Patreon stream. I had 4 Pistons, I had Westbrook, I had CJ, and I had Julius Randle. And my issue with that lineup was, my last piece in was Miles Bridges. It was in like 6.5K for forward. I was like, I don't really want to, I don't think it's worth it to go there. I was like, I want to go more starters and scrubs. I'm going to rebuild. And that went pretty poorly for me because guess who I played, who I knew there was a slight chance it would happen. Played Fred VanVleet. Played like 20 minutes. So that is, not fun. Not fun. I knew there's a chance that they might limit him just because the Raptors have nothing to play for. But what I was basing off of was last week we saw Lowry come back. Literally, they're in the same situation, right? They want to lose Toronto. Lowry comes back after being injured for like 2 weeks, and he plays 37 minutes. So my hope was, all right, we just saw that happen for Lowry. That gives me, I guess, a little more hope that VanVleet gets minutes, and no. So yeah, my pivots obviously went from close to, could have been a massive night to just a terrible night for myself. So let's go over my lineup here. I can get out of the way so you guys can see. And it was just one of those things where I think I just also got a little bit too contrarian by pivoting off too many Pistons, right? I went from 4 to 1. I think the sweet spot was probably play at least 2. Now, I took my chances on Jones Jr. and Melo. Once we got news that Jones Jr. starting, I thought he would play more. He only played 18 minutes. They dusted off Anthony Simons, who I had a little bit of worry about, but we hadn't seen him at all in the rotation recently, so I thought maybe to throw Jones Jr. in there, maybe Melo would just play more, and that I would be, all right using these Blazers to kind of differentiate myself. And that, again, did not work out at all. Again, it was a risk for sure. Didn't work out. I was debating with Melo and Todd. I was going to go Taj Gibson, actually, if Noel didn't didn't play, but Noel played, so I just stuck with Melo there. So yeah, that obviously hurt me with that killed me with going the Blazers value instead of the Pistons value for my personal lineup. But yeah, the stars. So Westbrook, CJ was solid, and DeRozan low owned was good. And Van Fleet, no minutes limit, but plays like 20 minutes. That's back-to-back nights for me with him and Giannis just picking a star and then getting completely limited. Super frustrating, I won't lie. Isaiah Stewart crushed, was only 50% owned. Kem Birch did not come back in the fourth, at least I don't think he did, so I thought he would have played a few more minutes, but the Raptors had a weird rotation. Like Paul Watson had a career night, and Yuta Watanabe. I can't hate on Watanabe, though. He did win me a GPP earlier this year, so I can't really hate on him, but you guys can tell. Just a frustrating night for myself, but I hope you guys had a better night, and let's talk about this 5-game slate. Oh, also, I'll update you guys in best ball. Also a little bit draining, but not a great night for me for best ball. So I got two days left to make up. I need to get in the top 2, and I'm about 50, 60 points back. I thought I had a good chance yesterday, and now it's not looking as good. Brogdon didn't really do much today. Edwards, not great. Powell was just like, nah. Kyrie had a really bad game. I expected a lot more from Kyrie, so I'm gonna need to get pretty lucky these last couple days to advance. But just thought I would update you guys on that one. All right, so let's take a look at these Vegas odds. We have 3 of the 5 games out right now. Cavs and Bulls, a 212 over under. The Bulls are 1.5 point favorites. Grizzlies and Bucks, a 236.5 over under. The Bucks are 8.5 point favorites. And Spurs, Suns, a 230.5 over under. The Suns are 9 point favorites. All right, let's start off with the first game here in Detroit and Washington. So Detroit, it's looking like all those guys that were rested are going to be back for this game. So we'll start with Jeremy Grant at the top at 6'5". Again, I know the Pistons want to lose, but he's a guy that in close games has been playing, pretty consistent minutes. Like he should get 35-ish in a close game. This is an up-tempo game against Washington, so assuming he plays, assuming there's no limit on him or anything like that, I think Jeremy Grant is a pretty good play at his current price. Saddiq Bey, again, like guys like him, Josh Jackson, the point guards all look great today. With Grant back, with Plumlee back, Saddiq Bey is still viable because I think we get probably around 30 minutes from him. Again, an up-tempo matchup, so not as good of a play Saddiq Bey is in this one, but I still think he's a solid option. And Josh Jackson had a big night tonight. He shot the ball really well. Should take a little bit of a backseat offensively with Jeremy Grant in the offense. Again, I think he's still playable. But not as good of a play as he was today. Now, again, Isaiah Stewart had the big game, but Plumlee is back. Assuming Plumlee plays, I think he'll probably get about 25 minutes, which kind of does hurt both centers. I think you could take a shot on Plumlee himself just because if by the off chance he pushes for 30 minutes, he could have a pretty good game at this salary. We know Plumlee's a good point per minute guy, so with the 2 centers, neither are priorities. Again, keep an eye on what they end up doing. But I assume Plumlee and Jeremy Grant both play. Corey Joseph's questionable. Diallo is questionable. He missed the game. They both missed the game today. If they're both out, and we also have Dennis Smith Jr. probably still out, so should be Killian Hayes and Saben Lee. If you played Killian Hayes, congrats. 5 steals, that obviously helped. He would be someone we could look to for value for sure, assuming he starts. And then Saben Lee off the bench, played 21 minutes. Did not have that good of a game. But I think both the Pistons point guards, if there's no Corey Joseph, would be pretty good value plays. So I think they're going to split the 48, that being Killian Hayes, that being Saben Lee, and they're both really, really cheap. So the 2 point guards I like for Detroit. I think Jeremy Grant's a pretty good play in the mid-range. Saddiq Bey as well. Those are probably the plays I like the best on Detroit at the moment. Moving on to Washington. So it is a back-to-back, but I think Westbrook will play. He hasn't sat a back-to-back in a long time. He did play 44 minutes, and it did go to overtime. So that's I guess maybe it's slight concern that maybe Washington rests one of their stars, but assuming they're both full go, again, Westbrook is one of the best plays of the slate, and it's just because, again, the massive minutes, the triple-double upside, you know the drill with Westbrook. And Brad Beal is a little bit too cheap, too, at 8.7. He doesn't have as high of a floor, but, should play. Again, all the minutes he can handle. So I like Westbrook. I like Beal at the top. And then, once again, the only other value guy I'll consider is Daniel Gafford. I was like, hey, The one game when Gafford gets extended, he's going to probably break the slate. And he did because of overtime. He played 26 minutes and went for 33 fantasy points. Again, the issue with Gafford is he's been hovering in that 15 to 18-minute range. Now, we're probably not getting 26 again because that was in overtime, but he did play 21 in regulation. So that's a little bit of a boost off of previous games. And we know, again, Gafford's been a really, really good point per minute guy. So Gafford for value, I think we can go to. I don't think I could touch anything else on Washington. Let's move on to Cleveland, Chicago. So Cleveland, it's kind of a tough team to break down right now. They're like fully healthy. They have a team that's been injured for a while, but now they're fully healthy. Jarrett Allen at 7.6. He had a big game last game. The price is just like, it's fine. Again, I don't love him with Kevin Love in the offense. Kevin Love himself, he had an off game, shot 2 of 10. Again, it was a blowout. I think in a close game, we probably push for 25 to 30 minutes. He's normally been a pretty solid point per minute guy. Sexton and Garland, the positive with these two guards is the minutes, right? They're going to play about 35 minutes. So like the main 4 guys, I will say Allen, Sexton, Garland, and Love are all guys that I think are okay options. They're filler plays. They're no priority options. Like I'm not going to look at this team and be like, oh, I need to play Colin Sexton at 7.5, or I need to play Kevin Love at 6.5, right? I think if you like land on a Garland or an Allen or a Sexton or a Love as the last piece in, that's perfectly fine because Chicago's not a good defensive team. So I'll say the main 4 guys for Cleveland are all decent options, no priorities. Nance is too expensive coming out the bench. Probably not getting to Prince or anyone else. Okoro, the minutes are there. It's just he does have a pretty low floor. If there's not a lot of value that opens up, then maybe you can go there. But like I think I'd just rather just take shots in like the Pistons point guards than a guy like Isaac Okoro. Moving on to Chicago. So what we know is there's no Zach LaVine. Sandon Ransky was ruled out for this game. My guess is he doesn't play since a back-to-back. If he does not play, then Kobe White catapults to become one of the best plays of the slate, who started, played 33 minutes, gets a massive boost, went for 45 fantasy points. We probably won't get 45 again from Kobe, but if we get over 30 minutes at 5.2, that is just too cheap for Kobe White. So really, really do like Kobe White, assuming Satoransky's out. Vucevic at the top at 9.8. I think it's perfectly fine. I do. Like, he obviously gets a boost without LaVine on the court. The offense is probably going to be Vooch and Kobe. So those two guys I think look pretty solid for Chicago. And assuming Satoransky's out, I don't think he plays. Now, the rest of this rotation, this is where it gets to be a headache. I think they ran a 10-man rotation, I want to say. So Thad Young actually came off the bench. He played 22 minutes. Don't love the price there. Daniel Tice started, but lost minutes. Only played 20. So it's like, I don't know what to make of that. I guess I prefer Tice if he comes out the bench. He's going to play more minutes, right? Patrick Williams at 4.4. He should get 25 to 30 minutes. Not a great point per minute guy. They started Garrett Temple. I really don't like Garrett Temple, but if he starts again, I think we get 20 to 25 minutes. He is min price. Again, Arcidiacono got dusted off for a few minutes. They dusted off Denzel Valentine for 17. They just ran a pretty deep rotation. So do I really feel comfortable with anyone on the bench? Not really. Again, if Garrett Temple starts again, you can go there at min price, but it's not a play that I love because he's a pretty low usage guy. Golden State and Boston. So Steph Curry at the top at 10.3. It's not necessarily the best matchup, but I think he's firmly in play for tournaments. For cash games, there might be slightly safer options, but Steph he is shooting lights out recently. Really, he's been shooting the ball really, really well. There's been a couple blowouts here too where he's lost some minutes. So I do like Steph for tournaments. I think Draymond's a pretty good cash game play. He does get a boost playing more at the 5 with no James Wiseman. Again, the triple-double upside, so even in a tougher matchup, I like Draymond. Wiggins, probably not going to go there. Kelly Oubre's at 6K, he's certainly questionable. If he misses, you can give a look to Bazemore, but Bazemore did only play 24 minutes the last game, which is not great. Toscano Anderson has shot like 8 of 8, or 8 of 9. It kind of feels like chasing if you go there, honestly, and he did get a little bit of extended run because of the blowout. Kevon Looney's at 3.9. I think we probably get around mid 20 to 25 minutes from him. He's been an all right point per minute guy. Last 4 games that he started, 18, 19, 21, and 23 fantasy points. So Looney, I think, is a pretty fair value play. On the Boston side, so what we know is no Rob Williams, no Evan Fournier. So Tristan Thompson, I think, stands out as one of the best values of the slate. I think in a close game, we get 25 to 30 minutes from him. So do like Tristan Thompson a good amount at his current price. And then it's the top 4 guys for Boston. So Tatum, Brown, Kemba, and Marcus Smart, I think all look pretty good in a matchup, in a really good matchup. Jaylen Brown had the big game last game. He is 8.3. Jason Tatum, I think, still has a little bit more upside, a little bit more consistency than Jaylen Brown, but he's also $1,200 more expensive. Kemba Walker is playing in close games. He's playing big minutes. This game was a blowout, but in a close game, he should play about 35 minutes. I think he's, viable, a little bit riskier, a little bit more up and down than, guys like Brown and Tatum. And then Marcus Smart at 6'3", I won't say as much upside, but maybe a little bit of a safer play because of the peripheral stats. So my take here with Boston is I like all four of the top guys. Would I go crazy and play like 3? No, but I think getting to one Celtic or maybe even 2 is perfectly fine on the slate. I don't think I can stomach the value. I really don't. So it's Thompson. It's the four other starters for Boston for me. Memphis and Milwaukee. So this game projected to be pretty high scoring. 236.5 over under. The Bucks are 8.5 point favorites. So we'll start off with Jonas Valanciunas at 7.9K. Kind of his first not great game, I guess. Well, he still played well. He still shot 7 of 9. He had 16, 7 and 5. But I will say the positive though, even though he had kind of his first subpar game in a while, is he still played 31 minutes. So that is good to see. Again, Jonas Valanciunas has been a really, really good point per minute guy. So, and it looks like right now the plan is to play him over 30 minutes, which I think makes him firmly in play at that price. John Morant at 7K. We know the production's been up and down for him, but the minutes will be there. This is an up-tempo matchup. I'm good going to Ja for GPPs. Now, Brandon Clark missed the game tonight, so Slow-Mo got a pretty big boost. And whenever Clark is out, Slow-Mo gets a big boost because he plays more at the 4. I think he's someone we could look to in the mid-range. Again, a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. And again, I know Dylan Brooks had a big game last game, but he's super reliant in the scoring. I don't know if I get to anyone else on Memphis. On the Milwaukee side, so it's just like, all right, what are we going to get minutes-wise from Giannis, right? All indications last game were full go, no limit, and he plays 25 minutes in a close game. So if he's going to be limited again, I have no interest. If there's no minutes limit for Giannis, I think he's a good spend-up. Will we get that news? Probably not, based on what we've seen the last week. If you think Giannis is going to be limited, then yeah, you can look to Drew and Middleton. They're not as good of plays without, honestly, Giannis in the lineup, but they're still viable. Portis feels a little pricey. DiVincenzo's out, but that doesn't do much for me. Like, Bryn Forbes picked up the start. He'll play about 20 minutes. He's got to hit his shots. He's really reliant on scoring. Pat Connaughton at 4.3 probably gets 20 to 25 minutes. Like, for me, I think I would rather have Connaughton over Forbes because he can at least do some of the peripheral stats. But yeah, it's surprisingly, if like Giannis is limited, there's really not a ton I like on Milwaukee. If Giannis is full go, Giannis himself, I think, looks pretty good. Finally, San Antonio and Phoenix. It's a back-to-back here for the Spurs, so be careful. We've seen this multiple times this year, and I always warn people when it's a back-to-back for the Spurs. If you guys are newer to DFS and you haven't got popped yet, you will get popped multiple times in your DFS career. So there is a little bit of worry with some of these Spurs. It's not a great matchup either. So I will say all the Spurs thing are more contrarian plays. DeRozan, Murray, and Poeltl, I think, are the 3 guys I'll consider. Again, DeRozan had a big game for me tonight at pretty low ownership, but this is a much tougher spot. The positives with him, most of the time he's going to get like 35-plus minutes. So I'm fine going to DeRozan. I think there is still some risk. DeJounte Murray, I believe he had a triple-double. Yeah, he had 13, 10, and 11. Again, in play for GPPs. And Jakob Poeltl against a big front court probably gets about 30 minutes. So those are the 3 Spurs I'd look to. I would say all 3 are contrarian plays, though. And finally, Phoenix. So this is tough. This is tough for Phoenix because in close games right now, the starters, they're just not getting minutes. 31 minutes from Booker in a close game against Sacramento. Chris Paul played 30. DeAndre Ayton played 30. So the matchup's solid here, but if the minutes are only going to be about 30 in a close game, then I don't think I can really get to any of the main Suns. Now, that can definitely change, but really, like, we've seen this a decent amount recently. So it's not great. I will say Booker probably is the guy that has the most upside for minutes, right? Chris Paul has been pretty limited, even close games, like 32. Again, I know this is a blowout, but like, he hasn't been on pace for some big minutes, which is a little bit worrisome. So that's what I'll say is the worry there with the main Phoenix guys. It's just the minutes at the moment. If you think they're going to get 35 plus minutes, then fire away on any of the top 3 Suns. Jay Crowder for value at 4.6. We kind of know what Jay Crowder is, right? I always say this with him, but 25-ish to 30 minutes, probably somewhere around 15 to 25 fantasy points. Safer play. Most likely not going to kill you, but probably not going to win your GPP. And then finally, the value. So again, the guys off the bench are getting a little bit extended recently. Cam Payne, Cam Johnson, Sarge, and Javon Carter. All in play. Payne probably hovers in the 15 to 20 minute range. Javon Carter's been playing well at the bench. He probably gets around 20. Cam Johnson's been getting about 20 minutes. And Sarge about, 15 or so. So like all four of those bench guys I think are playable here. Is there one standout bench player? No. But I think those guys are certainly someone we could use for some salary relief. So that is going to do it for the video today, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. When I'm live again. Unfortunately, no live stream tomorrow, guys. So good luck with everything, and I'll see you back here for another live stream on Sunday. So have a good night, guys, and I'll see you all then.